Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Johnny's Bite.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Jumma Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. And may God grant Kusami paradise. May God grant him paradise. Pray for all of us. Now, this morning we'll begin a journey to Nandom, or from Nandom. Yesterday I put up 3 pictures and 6. Please look for that, yesterday's folder. 3 pictures. We'll read the statement and then we'll ask the question. Now, when I put this up, the NPP in Nandom wrote this, and you know that our platform cuts both sides. We will give you a right to your rejoinder if you want it. If you have anything to say, we'll hear you out, so that you don't go and stand somewhere and say we didn't hear you out. And if you thought or you think that we didn't hear you out, you can always go to the court. And when you go to court, we will appear in court. And if we appear in court and you don't have enough, I'm sure that you know what to do. But yesterday, I put up this.
Johnny's Bite.
And we asked the question about DKM. Right? You remember DKM? It was a big thorny issue in 2016. Some say DKM then is men's gold now. And people had to die, people had to, whatever it is. People went through all of that. Guess what? DKM is back in the photo. They're back in the picture. They're back in the news. Now, the gentleman who is supposed to be at the heart of DKM is pictured here with Mr. Ambrose Derry, our immediate past Minister for Interior, who was in charge of the police, BNI or NIB, immigration, fire service, all of those institutions. It's pictured here. That's the gentleman right behind him. And I asked the question that at the time when this walk happened, did he not know that it was this gentleman? Pull the other pictures up for me. The gentleman is also pictured with Dr. Baumia, leader of the NPP in terms of the flag bearership. There, Dr. Baumia presenting a smoke, nicely smiling. Martin Dele, that's the name. Right? Now, let's see the other photo. Let's see the other photo. Martin Dele photo. Good. There's another photo of them at BNI cells. 4 of them. So if we knew that this individual is actually not, show me the BNI photo, is actually not a member of the NDC, is not connected to the Mohammeds, why did we tell the people of Ghana, for all of us to believe that indeed DKM was indeed a Muhammad creation and they had come together to scam Ghanaians who were part of the business? Why? That's the question I asked. Let's read the response from the MPP in Nandom. They raised 4 points. We'll read the response together. Put it up for me, please. We shall read it together, all of us, as I like for us to read, because that's a rejoinder. They have the right to rejoinder. It says, for immediate press release, Johnnie Hughes accuses Nandom constituency member of parliament, Honorable Ambrose Derry, and the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. In fact, the name is actually not spelled Baumia, it's spelled Baudu, of political dealings with the CEO of DKM defunct microfinance, Dr. Dele Kunige, Martin. And I actually have screenshots of the chats. I tell you, we are everywhere. The attention of the leadership of the New Patriotic Party in Nandom has been drawn to a video documentary that was televised on TV3 morning show program entitled Johnny's Bite by its regular host Johnnie Hughes on the 25th of July 2024, accusing the Nandom constituency legislator Honorable Ambrose Derry and the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, of their dealing political dealings with the CEO of DKM, defunct microfinance, Dr. Dele Kunige Martin. The leadership of the party in the constituency will wish to use this publication to state the circumstances that led to the appearance of the business mogul in an isolated political video documentary of the Nandom legislator, Honorable Ambrose Derry, and recent campaign tour of the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party up to the constituency. Now listen. On the occasion of the courtesy call on the paramount chief of the Nandom traditional area by the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, the chief of Nandom, His Royal Majesty now Professor Edmund Dele Chiu, the eighth, nominated the CEO of the DKM defunct microfinance, who is also a member of the royal family, to present a smock on his behalf to the flag bearer of the MPP as portrayed by Johnnie's Bite program. So there's no denial. 2. The party would wish to state unequivocally that the gift donation to our presidential candidate was entirely a royal assignment and should be disassociated from the campaign team of the flag bearer of a party as alleged in the documentary aired by Johnnie Hughes. Point 2. The purported video documentary also highlighted a picture of the CEO of DKM defunct microfinance participating in a health walk that was organized by the MP of Nandom, Honorable Ambrose Derry, in 2020, in cognizance of the incalculable role regular exercise plays in the wellness of his constituents. The party was, however, astonished as to why the participation of the CEO of DKM defunct microfinance, whose personal liberty has been granted by law, could be questioned by a journalist of high national repute.
Johnnie's
So far what I've read, there's no denial that that is the individual we're talking about. Point number 2, there's no denial that the CEO of Men's Gold, DKM, sorry, not Men's Gold, that there's no denial that this is the man that was associated to John Mahama and Lordina Mahama, DKMly speaking. Let's read the third point.
Bite.
It is also refreshing to note that DKM Microfinance was incorporated on the 13th of April 2013 and licensed by Bank of Ghana as Tier 2 Microfinance Company on the 25th of October 2023. In April of 2016, the Registrar General Department began the liquidation process to establish the true financial position of DKM through the conduct of a forensic audit. The official liquidator finalized the modalities and DKM was cleared from not being guilty of any offense and conviction, hence the guarantee of his personal freedom to participate in public gatherings. 4. It is also worth noting that in 2021, when the Member of Parliament for Nandom constituency, Honorable Ambrose Derry, appeared before the vetting committee as the Minister Designate for the Interior, he was asked about the personal liberty that has been granted to DKM. In his response, he made it known to members of the committee that the said young man's business was duly registered, cleared by the liquidator, and has not been convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction. Beautiful. The leadership of the New Patriotic Party in the Nandom constituency would wish to use this publication to call on the general public to treat TV3 video documentary accusing a member of parliament and a flag bearer of our party of political dealings with CEO of DKM, defunct microfinance, with contempt. Signed, Woyang Martin, Constituency Secretary, MPP. Let's see the pictures again. This is a right to rejoinder that I've read with equal prominence at the same time as is with journalistic standards and ethics. Now read what the picture says. It says this guy, Martin Dele, who is a core campaign team member of Baumia, was the founder of DKM Financial Services and defrauded many Ghanaians in the Bono region in 2016. The MPP told lies to the people of Ghana, claiming that the company was owned by the former First Lady at the time. Today, the fraudster, advisedly used, is a key member of Baumia's campaign. All I can say is, let us be careful with the scammers parading themselves as sound politicians. Picture no lie. There's one presenting a smock. I'm told my own uncle Dr. Dele was the one who said, Professor Dele was the one who said, oh, go and present it. There's one with him on a walk wearing MPP shirt with Dr. Ambrose Derry, Mr. Ambrose Derry, lawyer Ambrose Derry. First a lawyer, second interior minister, cabinet minister at the time. Then there's a third photo of him in BNI cells. Now, the narrative that was served to Ghanaians, I ask, and the statement I read to you, all the 4 points raised, as weak as they could sound, did not respond to that particular one. Ghanaians were made to believe in 2016, and all of us bought that the Mohammeds were connected to DKM. They owned DKM. Today we are told that it is Mr. Martin Dele who owns DKM. Will we say sorry? I don't know. Does it matter? I don't know. Why now? I don't know. When will it come? I don't know. The people who suffered through DKM or because of DKM's activities, will they be compensated? I don't know. I'm only asking my questions and showing you pictures. So I'm doing a balanced story. Now take me to HeFRA. There's a letter from the Ministry of Health to HeFRA, Dr. Philip Yaobano. And as I said, we'll give you a right to rejoinder. If you don't like the rejoinder, go to court. When you go to court, we'll come to court with the documents we have. And then when we appear in court, we'll see. This is dated the 30th of May, 2024. It says, Dear Dr. Bano, 2-year extension of service as Registrar of the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency. Mind you that on the 5th of August 2020, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's led government, aided by Dr. Baumia, and also at the time when Ken Ofori-Atta was at post with Abena Osai-Sari as Deputy Finance Minister, they wrote to say that going forward, because of where we find ourselves, we will not give any post-retirement contract to anybody. They said it in a letter, they said it in Parliament on the floor of the House. That was why it shook me when Abena Osai-Sari was defending Reverend Amisai Dai at the table when they appeared before the Public Accounts Committee. And after 63-year-old Reverend Amisai Dai was kicked out, they brought in a 61-year-old woman to head the GRA. This is the letter. Any government that tells you that I will not give post-retirement contract and they give it, the president is not trustworthy, the vice is not trustworthy, whoever signed this is not trustworthy. Because they told you that because of where we find ourselves, we will not give a post-retirement contract. This is it. Extending the post-retirement contract effective the 18th of July 2024 to 17th of July 2026. The man was supposed to go home on the 17th of July, 2024. Kwekwajima Benu was away. Okoboy was yet to be substantiated. So there was a chief director who signed that. And we are legitimizing the illegalities. That's what we're doing. Now, when such people who tell you that we will not do A and they come back to do A, is akin to licking their own spit. The president that we never had, Manasseh will launch a book, I think, next week somewhere. The president that we never had is the president that we now have, who is doing what he wants to do. He said, that's my one line. I said, I take this opportunity to congratulate you on your extension. You tell 1.9 million young people that there are no jobs, that there's no vacancy available. And then you turn around, people who have served over 60 years, you tell them that they have contract extension. Do you really care about the people? Find me the Ministry of Health letter, 6. It's there. The Ministry of Health letter to Dr. Bano telling you about compulsory retirement.
Johnny's fight.
You tell the people that, the young people of this country, who defend you, hook, line, sinker, tooth and claw, blood and tears and sweat, that, oh, there are no jobs. By all means, there are no jobs. And then you turn around to appoint older people and give them positions and even extend their contracts. That's what you do. Meanwhile, we know what the position of the Constitution is. That if you are going to give a contract extension, it should actually be to people whose expertise cannot be immediately found. Are you suggesting to us by this letter that has been written that HeFRA has no people to take over from Dr. Philip Bano if he decides to go home today? I've raised questions about nepotism. I've raised questions about cronyism. I've raised questions about lack of proper managerial skills. I've raised questions about absenteeism. I've raised questions about causing financial loss to the state, RTI commission, 30,000 paid. I've raised a lot of questions. You ignore all of those questions and go about and give a contract extension. And yet you expect the people of Ghana to believe in you. Your scorecard is out there in the public. This is dated the 28th of February, 2024. It is compulsory retirement from the health services. Dr. Philip Abebio Bano, Registrar, Staff ID 1372036. Written from the ministry. And I'm sure the presidency was very much aware. Why did you waste our paper to type this when you knew you were going to give a contract extension? Why? Why did you type this? You have trust issues, you have integrity issues, you have credibility issues. And this one, it is to the presidency, led by Nanado, led by Dr. Baumia, led by lawyer Asante Bedie too. This was written. It was written. So the deception that Jana 1 and Jana 2 is happening unabated. I've showed you DKM. I've showed you HeFRA. You tell the people that you will not give a contract extension to anybody. 5th of August 2020. So how does Ken Oforiatta, who is now a man in charge of our external finance issues, feel when he spoke with Parliament? How does Abenal Sasari feel when they meet their colleagues? You lied to the people. You lied, you deceived the people that you are not going to do this, and you actually have done it. Dr. Bonaventure Benedict Alegibam is still on our hands. Yeah, he doesn't even have a contract extension, but he's still at post. There are too many of those at post. I say next week, Ghana Meteorological Agency. I will be sweet. Pull the other document for me, my brother. Pull. Just pull any of your choice. Ghana.
Johnny's
Then the young people, you young man, you have 2 CDs data. And you are defending rubbish. You see, old men are getting contract extension. You are still jobless. Now, this is what Nanado said. He said, we are not coming into office to work for all Ghanaians. We are coming into office to work for all Ghanaians. And not just a few. And certainly not our family and friends. I am for Nana. Put it up.
Johnny's vice.
He said, trust him to work for you. Put it up. Let's see it. We are coming into office to work for all Ghanaians and not just a few. And certainly not our family and friends. I am for Nana hashtag. It was tweeted on the 18th of November 2016, 10:17 a.m. Now, look at Nana again. Can you trust him to work for you? Is he not doing family and friends? Is Dr. Philip Bano not his friend? After serving in the U.S. and living in the U.S. for a long time, I said there's a U.S. court document. One of these days, I'll pull it up for you. Bano versus Bano. I'll pull it up for you. And you feel the details in it. One of these days. Now, this is what Nanado put up. Can you trust him now? If he comes to you to say, believe me, vote for whoever I'm choosing. Can you trust him? This is what he said. This is scorecard. This is what he said. Today, giving the opportunity and giving the position of authority, this is how he's treating you. Can you trust him? That's the question. He said, trust him to work for you. Can you trust him? Where young people cannot find jobs, but old people are being given contract extension. Nana is the only president in the Republic of Ghana who has another general, brigadier general, following him. So in the army, there's what we call in the officer corps, there's a lieutenant or sub-lieutenant, lieutenant, captain, there's major, there's lieutenant colonel, there's brigadier general, major general, and then the lieutenant general in Ghana. That's the officer corps. Nana is the only president on record to have had, because he's commander-in-chief, to have had a general following another general about and doing follow back. General Ouna, he was a general. When we complained, they moved him away. The latest one, he's a general. He's doing follow back. And if you know what goes into making somebody a general, you won't have a general do follow back for another general. But he has made generals follow backs, and the military itself know. General Pompipra, he knows what I'm talking about. He knows. But they have all kept quiet because they are all scared. They are all afraid. Timorous souls. All of them. They are afraid. They know what it is, but they are afraid. They are afraid to say it. They know what the rules are. They know. But they are scared. They are afraid. They are afraid of Nana Dodangwe. They are afraid. They know. Where in the world would you find another general doing follow back for another general? Where? Yugoslavia, Russia, Beijing, China, Japan, Nigeria. Where? They know it. They know it. They very much know it. The Ghana Armed Forces, they know it, what I'm saying. But they won't say it. Let me remind you, something for you to remember.
Johnny's
Play the video.
right.
Are we ready for a new president?
Yes.
Are we ready for honest leadership?
Yes.
Are we ready for a competent leader?
Yes.
Omanpenyi mama said, Ghana and Chani area fearsome. Ewa musana. On Wednesday, when we take our ballot paper, we will remember 8 years of corruption. We will remember Wyoming. We will remember Sada. We will remember Suba. We will remember Bass Branding. We will remember all the monies they have appropriated to themselves on Wednesday. They've insulted nurses. They've insulted ordinary citizens of Ghana for asking them how they are using our money. We will remember that the 200 senior secondary school they couldn't build. We will remember that under NDC, various stages of completion means bare land and a billboard. We will remember the almighty incompetence. We will remember that they have doubled the interest rate in 4 years. We will remember that when they took over, the exchange rate was 1.2 to $1. Today it's 4.3 to $1. We will remember that they haven't solved Doomso after 5 years of hardship. We will remember all of their incompetence and mismanagement. And more important, when we take the ballot paper on Wednesday, we will remember that Ghana is a great country. It's a country that deserves a great leader. Minyanoma won't fin mantem. Amado Dankwe Kufuado, also Arbeyan Shisha Papa Mahon. Abania budget $35 million. Dorbesi factory Amahon. Wesi factory Navy in the still in Mebunye Jumanya. One to Abana man and Nebu for the number Mahon Jumanya on Fin Mountain. Gamen. Oh, Mommy, Auntie Rebecca Kufuado.
3FM 92.
Eke ewunana adodangwe Kufuado nyefnya chanya konta. Eke beba chuni ehanye. Koni ohiane bolewo. Amane hune bolewo.
Station.
Baje wayemi. Ni wafen waya wahie. Kudu.
The wife of our vice president spoke 3 different languages. today, your simple task is to go on
Johnny's
Twitter,
fight.
because she has an account, and tag our vice president's wife and ask her, we remember. Hashtag we remember. Hashtag Johnny's bite. Because suddenly she's out of the picture. The things that she told us to remember, if we decide to remember from PDS to Ejapadia to how the leadership at SNIT was changed, how road tolls were cancelled arbitrarily by a lawyer, if we decide to remember all of this, I'm sure that we'll have a plethora of things, a compendium of items that we'll not put. So just tag Second Lady Samira Baumia and say, we remember, madam. Just tag her, because she's pretending to have forgotten. We have to remind her to remember the things that she asked us to remember. She even held a ballot sheet. She said, we will remember. Remind her. Hashtag we remember. Remind her that we remember the things that you said then. Hashtag we remember. Tag Samira Baumia today and ask her. They are all pretending that they didn't say these things to us. And these things were said to us. And based upon that, we believed what they told us. And we decided that we're going to vote in a certain direction. Today, 8 years on, what do you remember? I'm asking you. 8 years on, what do you remember? Ask Samira Baumia, 8 years on, what does she remember? It's a simple question. We remember. Hashtag